Get it off your chest. It'll make you feel better. Just say it. WLS Talk Radio 94.7 FM and 890 AM.
It's 11:04, 4 minutes after 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning in Chicago. Good morning, everybody. This is WLS Talk Radio 94.7 FM, 890 AM. The only place to be, and has been for quite some time, especially in the last couple of days, as we've been discussing the situation in Los Angeles and the aftermath. We're going to talk about it all day today. I'm Richard Roeper. I'm here from 8 a.m. until noon every Sunday. At noon, Ray Hanania will be in until 3 o'clock, and from 3 until 6, Nate Clay. All day long, we'll be taking your calls at 591-8900. Get your opinions on what's going on in Los Angeles and what will happen in this country in the future. We'll also keep you updated with the very latest developments as soon as we get them. 591-8900 is the number. Let's go out to Brenda on the south side. You're on WLS Talk Radio.
Good morning, Richard.
Morning, Brenda.
Hi. Okay, first of all, I'd like to say that I was outraged by the verdict, but I can't help but wonder where were all our civil rights activists and our black leaders preceding this trial. I didn't hear anything about Jesse Jackson or Maxine Waters demonstrating or organizing any protests before the trial.
You know, that's a good point. Regardless of what people may think about Mike Tyson in the trial there were people down there throughout the trial making their opinions known outside the courtroom. And I'm not aware of, and you know, someone wants to correct me if they've got evidence otherwise, not aware of any kind of demonstrations going on outside the courtroom in Simi Valley or Maxine Waters or anybody else out there saying, we're waiting to hear the verdict and we're waiting for justice. And we'll be here one way or another. Instead, it was afterwards, everybody coming out saying that they weren't surprised by it. But you know darn well they were surprised.
Right. Okay, they were in Washington. Okay, they showed them all on TV trying to get a flight into Los Angeles.
Right.
After the violence started. And I felt if Martin Luther King had been alive, I don't know, but I'm sure they would have came together and organized some kind of protest. They would have been visually seen preceding the trial.
Great point.
Then you have these people coming around here after everything has happened, which isn't going to solve anything. That's what happened in our community now, even with the aldermen in Chicago. All the drugs, all the violence we have. No one comes into our community to try to talk with the kids, to try to talk with the parents, to try to organize things. If we have some type of organization, some visibility with our supposed to be leaders, maybe some of the things wouldn't happen. Okay, you don't wait until something happens and then make yourself visual and start talking all these things. And then with Bush, he's talking to the black community now. He's talking to the black community, but he's constantly cutting social programs. And that doesn't make sense. And then it hurts me that we're so generalized as black people. When I look at the news, I see all types of people looting.
I do too.
But every time you hear a news reporter comment, it's black people.
Yeah,
all people, regardless if they were purple. It doesn't make it right that they're doing these things.
One of the first things I saw on the news the first night was a toll booth, I think it was, or a phone booth of some sort, getting kicked in and knocked over. And there were 3, I would guess, teenagers on top of that phone booth. And it was a black kid, a white kid, and a Hispanic kid. And I thought, idiot, right there. And representing all 3 there, or at least 3 of our groups. And I saw that throughout the rioting and the looting. I'll have to agree with you there.
But I would really like to talk with Jesse Jackson and Maxine Waters to really know what their opinions are. Why weren't they there? It's just senseless to me. And then all of a sudden you want to emerge as this great leader
and say,
to try to solve something that has happened.
Right.
And then what is it going to do? Is it going to help the black people or is it going to hurt us? Okay, money is already being taken away from social programs. Now there's money that needs to go into the state to help rebuild. And me growing up on the west side during 68 with all the riots, you know, when I go back over there, things still aren't being rebuilt. And that bothers me when I think about the Los Angeles situation. That's over 20 years ago.
I'll guarantee you that there'll be certain street corners in South Central LA in the district there that 10 or 15 years from now, people will drive by and they'll say, geez, look at that vacant lot there right in the corner. And they'll say, well, that was a video store until 1992. Or that was an auto parts store until 1992.
So I just wish, that we can come together in some type of way, because after all, we're all human beings, no matter what color. And these black leaders are just going to have to get on their jobs and realize that, and stop making everything a black and white issue, but make it a human issue.
Okay, thanks a lot for the call, Brenda.
You're welcome. Bye.
591-8900 is the number. Let's go out to the north side. Is it Rolanda?
Yes.
Hi. How are you?
Fine.
What can we do for you?
I'm thinking about the Rodney King, what happened to him.
Okay, how old are you?
10.
Okay.
Okay.
And what do you think about that?
I think it's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rodney King, even though they shouldn't have beat him up, all they could have did was put handcuffs on him and just took him in, but didn't have to do all that to him.
Did you like in the kids in your school? Did you talk a lot about this week?
Yes.
About what happened? What were the kids saying? That
Rodney King should have been like that, and he shouldn't have been put in jail. I mean, he should all those people, the police officers should have been put in jail. Because they have cameras, they have judges, they have lawyers, and all those people, and they could not have said that they didn't do anything to Rodney King. And I think that was really terrible, because now the people in Los Angeles, people in different cities are fighting and fighting their own people because of what happened.
Right.
And I just don't like that.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
Yes.
A lot of wrong came out of there. Boy, you and I, we agree. We saw that evidence. I don't know what that jury was seeing, Rolanda, but it sure seems amazing that they said that Rodney King wasn't beaten up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, listen, sweetie, thanks for the call, okay?
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
591-8900 is the number. Let's go to Maryville, and Matt, you're on WLS.
How you doing? I'd just like to say that I'm white, and I grew up in Gary, Indiana. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that area.
Sure I am.
And my best friends are black. And a lot of people say, oh, my best friends are black, and expect, that to be okay when they talk. But anyways, I've been stopped, and I've been harassed by black cops as well. And I'm not trying to point the finger, because I know everybody, stops everybody.
I could say that I've been harassed by black and white police officers in my time in the city,
See, unfortunately, I've only been given tickets and only been harassed and told, to shut up, things of that nature, just by black cops.
By black cops, okay.
And getting as far as the Rodney King evidence, I guess because it was on film, it hit a wider variety of the population, where we had the shotgun killer around here.
Right.
Okay, I'm not sure if you're even familiar with that.
Yeah, like seven different people.
Yeah, and they caught this man, and he admitted that he did it. And they found his shotgun in his grandma's house, and they found his handprints on a few of the cars. And I don't know, I mean, they found him innocent in Lake County. They found him innocent in somewhere else too. They finally did find him guilty on one charge or something. But I mean, whites weren't expected to go out and loot and do all that. And even, I don't know, I mean, I just find that looting, I feel that there was a better way of handling it. I just think that the minorities, no matter what they are, always look for it. I mean, they could be poor whites also, when I say minorities. But what I'm saying is, I think it's just an excuse to just say, well, that's why we did it. Because if you look at when, I think it was some baseball team in Detroit, they won and the championships or whatever.
When the Tigers won the World Series.
And the same with the Chicago Bulls last year.
Yeah. Well, actually, Chicago did pretty well last year. I mean, there were a few cases of minor vandalism, but compared to what happened in Detroit in 1984, where like 90 people were injured and a couple people were killed and buildings were set on fire and cars overturned, that really didn't happen in Chicago last year.
I just like to, as far as people calling up and saying things, I just like to say that I don't know. Maybe there's a time when we need to stop talking about it and actually setting a program for kids that don't have the ability to go out and join sports or do certain things in a community sense.
Okay, thanks for the call, Matt. 591-8900 is the number. It's 1113 at WLS Talk Radio. I'm going to go to Harvey and Linda. You're on WLS.
Hello?
Linda, are you there?
Yeah.
Everything okay? Hello?
Yeah.
Turn down your radio.
Hi.
Turn down your radio.
Yeah, hi. I just would like to say that I appreciate the calls and opinions of everyone that's calling in concerning the L.A. problem.
Yes.
And I think it's brought the attention. It's unfortunate that something of that magnitude had to occur for people of color to try to come together for a common cause. And there are a lot of injustices that exist, and I think this situation is going to, bring them closer together.
I hope so. I mean, if we can't get any good out of this, then it really will be completely wasted efforts on a lot of people's parts.
Right.
Okay, thanks for the call. 591-8900 is the number. It's 11:14 on WLS. I'm Richard Roeper. Let's go to Lincoln Park, and Andrew, you're on WLS.
Hello there.
Hello.
I just wanted to say that our country's poor people have been repressed by people like Reagan and Bush for the last 10 years at least. They've been taking money away from social welfare and educational programs for the poor and putting billions of dollars into some arms race and nuclear weapon development that most American people don't even know what they're doing. I think that it's devastating that the revolution had to happen, but I also feel that it had to happen because it's a way for our country's underprivileged and poor to repress and try to do something that other people like Reagan and Bush will become aware of, and to make them wake up and get it together.
Now, Andrew, do you think this is a true revolution, though, or are you afraid that in 2 or 3 weeks from now we'll move on, and then in November George Bush will get 58% of the vote, and it'll be business as usual?
To be honest with you, yeah, I do think that's going to happen. This is the beginning. And, there's no saying that it won't ever get worse in the future.
Right. Okay.
And it sure could. Can I say one other thing?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay, well, my girlfriend's a teacher in the inner city.
Okay.
And she sees the children right before they come to school and the things that they have to deal with, like gangs, drugs, family problems. And that all stems from poverty. And this cycle, it's a never-ending cycle. It's a snowball effect.
The walk to school sometimes is literally like a gauntlet of temptation
and I've witnessed that. I've seen it, and it's true. It's got to change. People should go into ghettos and see how these people live. It's terrible, and it's not righteous, and it's inhumane. And it's about time. Our country's elites have to wake up and do something about it, and put more money into these programs because we need it. We got to stick to this, with all of this together, and our country's poor. We've got to do something about it. That's all I really have to say.
Thanks, Andrew.
You got it. Bye.
591-8900 is the number. Let's go out to the south side, and Rick, you're on WLS.
Yes, hi, how you doing?
Okay.
I listen to what's happening with a lot of people, and I find it kind of amusing of sometimes the insensitivity of some people that call. They're not aware of the plight of black people.
They're even insensitive to their insensitivity.
Yeah. I'm a young black man, and I work every day, and I worked hard enough to buy me a very nice car that I drive on occasion, and I'm sure that a lot of the more white people have not been pulled over and had a gun put to their head and asked whose car it is. I'm sure that that they have not went to school and had to go through a lot of problems getting loans and have their cards stacked against them. It's a frustrating thing that America's willing to spend more money on jails than they are to spend on education. I hear Jesse Jackson said the other day that they spend over $40,000 a year on putting a young black man in jail rather than putting him in college.
And if we got the education in the first place, the jails wouldn't be so necessary because we'd have fewer criminals.
Yeah,
I mean, the best way to arm yourself is with an education.
And that still doesn't. And I still also like to talk to. Also, being a black person is not easy if you do get an education. I have somewhat of an education, and I'm not working in my field. I've seen young black women and young black men. Some black men are selling drugs not because they are just bad people because they don't know they can't do anything else.
It's the last desperate thing to do when all the other options have been exhausted and all the other doors have been closed in some cases. Not that I want to excuse it, but I understand that frustration. Yeah,
it's frustration. I've seen young black women sell their bodies because they don't have enough money to feed their kids, and with education. I think this speaks to the era that the last two presidents, Bush and Reagan, has put us into. And I think we need to turn this situation around.
Yeah, well, people laugh at me, but when I say this, but I really mean it. I miss Jimmy Carter. I'm telling you.
Carter, they talked about Carter was the worst president of this era. I think he was one of the best.
Yeah, as it turns out, we didn't know what the lineup was going to be after that, did we? Thanks a lot for the call. Okay. We appreciate it. 591-8900 is the number. It's 1119 on WLS. We're going to take a look at the WLS Dependable Weather Forecast. Today, partly sunny, windy and cool, high in the middle or upper 50s. Northwest winds 15 to 25 miles per hour and gusty. Tonight, partly cloudy and cold, low in the upper 30s or lower 40s. Northwest winds diminishing to 10 miles per hour. Monday becoming cloudy, a 50% chance of showers, cooler, a high in the lower 50s. The temperature right now at O'Hare, it's 53. It's 54 degrees at Midway and 52 degrees at the lake. The humidity is at 50%. Our next complete WLS Dependable Weather Forecast will be at 11:50 here on WLS Talk Radio, 94.7 FM, 890 AM.
Spend your middays with Roll Call.
From our civic leaders, national reaction from George Bush and his minions. 591-8900 is the number. Janice on the south side, you're on WLS. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Richard. How you doing?
Okay.
That's good. I just wanted to say that your previous caller, Brenda, she made a point that the black officials like Jesse Jackson and Maxine Walsh, they weren't protesting before the trial. And I don't think they protested because they naturally assumed that the verdict would be otherwise.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think we all did.
Yeah. And I just want to say also that on my job, there's a lot of tension between the blacks and the whites. And it's not right because a few years ago, a supervisor of mine made a comment that she had been in an altercation with some black people. I think it was a car accident or something. And she said that the blacks were really indignant. And she made a point that they weren't like me. And I just found that really offensive.
Oh, because you were like one of the good ones, that kind of a thing?
Yes, I'm a good black, and, they were bad blacks because they got really upset because they were in an accident.
I'm always amazed when people say something like that, because what do they expect? Like, you're going to then nod and wink and go, yeah, you're right, I am one of the good ones.
It's like saying those people,
yeah.
But, they're my people. And, as long as people have that mentality, we'll never move ahead.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for the call, Janice.
Have a good weekend.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
591-8900 is the number. It's 11:25 on WLS. I'm Richard Roeper. Let's go to Tom on the south side. Hi, Tom. You're on WLS.
Hello.
Hello, Tom.
I think that we have... I have a question for you. I got a couple of comments first, though.
Real quick.
I think we got a police problem. I don't think most whites, listening to what they react to about this case here, is... they're really angry about what happened to King. I think they're angry at what the police get away with. My second comment is I think that we got a problem with lawyers and how they can alter reality from what's truth and deception.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
And I also like to applaud the Atlanta, Georgia welfare system. They changed it so that you can only get support for one child. If you have out of marriage any more than one child, you don't get any more. And I think you ought to follow that and see what happens. I think good things are going to come out of that.
Okay, thanks for the call. 591-8900 is the number. It's 11:26 on WLS Talk Radio. Let's go out to the south side. Verge, you're on WLS. Hi, Verge.
Yes.
How you doing?
Okay. I've been listening to your program. I'm a first-time caller. I don't think that we are addressing this situation as it unfolds before us. First of all, everyone in this country should attack the system. Now, I go way back from 1924 up to now, and I've seen this same thing happen over and over again. You, as a reporter, could take write some columns about what's going on in the black community. Look at the financial institutions. We have none. We have no way of building businesses. There is nothing put out. Even our tax money does not come back to our community. How are we to survive when we cannot get jobs? You cannot even get a loan to upgrade your property. Now, when a man of Bush's background, and I'm sure that many people know this, but it is never discussed, his background, he's not fit to be president. And his father was financing the war against Hitler, for Hitler against the Jewish people.
Well, I don't know anything about his father financing the war. One thing I'll say about George Bush's background, childhood, education, and experiences, I don't think that George has had a lot of personal contact with a lot of the regular folks that are out there, black, white, or any other way. 591-8900 is the number. It's 1127 on WLS. Let's go to the north side. And Jim, you're on WLS.
Good morning.
Morning.
Regarding the Los Angeles riots, I think the black officials have to recognize that they are perpetrating that same strategy, that strategy of black people choosing victimization as a method for survival. I think that the problem extends not only within the black community, but across the country. The degree of frustration that black people are feeling is experienced at other levels in other communities. However, the method that black people chose was not obviously a good one, but it is a reflection of a lot of other kinds of things. For example, throughout the country, people are now voting in women in positions that were formerly held by white males and so on. I think that as a black person, as a black people, we've abdicated our responsibility to our black children, and we've let morally bankrupt and socially corrupt black leaders continue to ill-define our actions and our perspectives. I think what we need is the development of a new leadership in our community. Those kinds of things that happen in Los Angeles and Seattle and the other areas really says to me that we need to design new kind of agendas and new policies that are going to not dehumanize people anymore, not depersonalize them, and allow them to participate. I think that finally people don't really feel a part of this democratic process anymore. And I think that goes all the way back to Nixon up until now. I don't think that there's a one whit of difference between the kinds of things that Nixon did in Watergate and the kind of subtle, underhanded things that Bush and Reagan are doing in terms of how they deal with an individual's right to respond to the kind of policies that they're perpetrating on the people.
Let's get out the vote, right, Jim?
I think it's more than that. I think that what we have to do, particularly in the black community, is begin to develop those institutions that can help us redefine who and what we are, redefine our purpose and direction. I think that we continue to go back to. I mean, we've had these conversations before.
Yes, we have.
Had these conversations.